We're running out of time, and it is great to have you here all the way from Panama. Please, have a seat. Yes, it is fantastic to see you. You look actually younger now. Why do you look younger? Share with us the secret.
Wow, you told me that my presentation has been vibrant. You know?
Vibrant?
That means energy.
That's good. I'm going to wait until you include the microphone because we are videotaping and recording this. In fact, everybody knows in your company that you are very passionate, that you have lots of energy and charisma.
I'm Swedish, huh?
Yeah.
Being Swedish and passionate is not that, you know.
You were brought up in Venezuela, so
yeah,
definitely. True. That is actually a very good example how people can learn and adapt and adjust to many cultures of the world. You are a walking example.
Yeah.
Well, let us talk about passion, because this morning, when everybody was, paying attention to your presentation, you showed passion and lots of energy when you talk about business at the base of the pyramid. You presented very creative solutions. In fact, the solutions that you presented and shared with us included passion, innovation, and a very educated perspective about how to make problems or transform problems into business opportunities. So we have a question for you. What do you recommend for universities to teach? Or in other words, you have learned many things.
Yeah.
What do we need to change? What do we need to enrich or enhance in terms of faculty profiles, curriculum design, and teaching learning methodologies to bring the passion, the innovation, and the vibrancy into 1,000 graduates that we actually produce and send to the markets?
Yeah, I'm going to the, what comes out, is this, it's difficult as long as you stay, at the level of theories, elaborating better theories. Passion comes with practice, So I have been kind of very interested in the subject, in the development of the theories, related to the social responsibility, and which is called today the bottom of the pyramid, the base of the pyramid. So what I would really add is, okay, that's great. That's great, the theory, the conceptual development.
The frameworks.
This cognitive framework that has been developed. But I would add, I would call it workshop, but that's not the right word. I doesn't pay the due respect to what I mean, is start to teach how to manage this type of process. Okay, I think there are a lot of commonalities. If you do it in, let's say, a utility or another type of of industry. So I would put emphasis, if I were on the board of the USD or another institution, is okay. Start to think about how to teach people how to do it, how to manage this type of process. Because one thing is the external aspect, of this type of process, but the other one is the internal one, which was the one I made emphasis this morning. So I think it's time of really starting to see this not as something which is kind of more ethereal than to teach young people to financial management or any logistic supply chain. For me, it's another field. So it's just another field.
Let me see if I understand well. You are inviting us in academia to not only do analytical training, but also to go deeper into the emotional and spiritual strings that bring passion into action.
Because what you see is the it's a kind of it's an analysis of the market.
Yeah.
Okay. You try to understand the market, in the specific this segment, you know. But, you know, there is not much saying about how you manage from your organization, from the inside, how you really ignite, you know, that process, you know. And once you start moving the idea, okay, how do you address it? You know, how do you gain alliances, momentum? You know, what does the top management means in this type of process? You know, right. I remember when we started this in EDC, I was reluctant to call it a project. I insisted to call it an initiative. Because a project is something where you know, more or less, you have a budget in terms of financial resources, deliveries, and when you're going to deliver what, you know. So I get a lot of pressure, you know, but I insisted this is a business initiative. We're going to start pequeñito, small,
little by little.
And then, you know, the process will take, if it is well managed, it will start to take, to gain momentum and all that.
So you basically are suggesting that universities, number one, should include this in a gradual sense as a particular project?
As a management, you know, to really teach, to train, to talk about the managerial skills that you need for do this type of job.
All right.
That's
Sounds
very pragmatic, you know.
Let us continue being pragmatic, but let me use or leverage on your visionary capabilities. It is now year 2020. You are the chairman of the board and CEO of your company, and you are operating in about 25 countries, and you serve, roughly speaking, 500 million consumers. And it is now 7 in the morning, and you are having your first coffee of the day and reading the newspaper. And you are in a really relaxing state of mind. Please read to us 2 headlines that you read on the newspaper about how you, your company, and academia are working together in the base of the pyramid domains. Headlines.
Headlines. Okay. One, that our company has been extremely successful in the country X. I'm not going to see which one. In achieving so much percentage of inclusion of the low-income consumers, now clients. I know that sounds a little bit fluffy, you know, but
that's fine.
But it's really that would be really important.
You're talking about poverty reduction, and you're talking about new opportunities for these people, and you and university people your company are working together in this poverty reduction. Another headline. Another
headline, probably not in the front page, but
in the financial section.
Better in the Economist. The one page of the Economist is how the company has been able along the years, and the year 2020 is really a champion, you know, has mastered, you know, the skill to leverage politically in the developing countries that we are operating. Thanks, beside other things, really thanks to the way the company has understood and managed the issue of the bottom of the pyramid.
And how do you feel financially as a CEO of this company, CEO and chairman of the board, by reading these 2 headlines in conjunction with a business partner such as academia? How is your internal kind of, it feels good, it feels really difficult because those people in academia don't get it? How do you feel about reading those headlines?
People are getting it. People are getting it. What I feel is that it's time to add, so to say, a finger to the hand, you know, and start to see as there is a tremendous effort to characterize, you know, the markets. Okay, to start to understand who is the internal process, you know, I insist on that, you know. That's something that, because there are patterns that is, I think are common, independent in which company, which industry you are, you know. So,
all right.
And I think it's not something that has to be touched by some kind of strange spirit or inspiration. It's something that can be, you know, people can learn, you know.
I have identified 4 issues, and please let me see if I got it right. Number 1 is, definitely, if we want to have passion and innovation, we need people to engage into real action, into practice. Passion comes from practice, yes. You said. Number 2.
Doesn't come from theory.
Definitely. A second issue is that your company, in partnership with universities, could work together as an engine for development, vertical mobility, poverty alleviation, and so on. Number 3, you do suggest that universities should redesign the learning dynamics in the classroom in order to make it more cohesive with the ideas of the BOP. And number 4, that you actually suggest for companies around the world to engage into partnerships with academia and, potentially speaking, other agencies in order to work together for a more sustainable future. Those were the 4 things I identified.
Yes.
Well, thank you again for coming, Ivar.
You made it very easy, you know. So.
It is piece of cake. You provide the ideas, I just write them down. Thank you for coming.
Okay,
it is great to have you here. Okay? Okay. Before we go to commercials, I just would like to summarize the combination of the 3 speakers. The 3 of them basically said we need to get our hands into action. No way out. It is not just cognition and conceptual. We need to get there, and Ted actually said that too, and every single speaker in the whole day has actually said that. Number 2, we really need to redesign many of the processes that come from the past. We cannot take advantage of the future by looking at the back rear mirror all the time when we are driving into the future. We need to come up with new ways of perception, new ways of conceptualizing, new ways of actually doing things. Number 3, we really need to engage into more collaboration activities, academia, business, agencies. Otherwise, we're going to do more of the same in a silo-like looking kind of situation, and it's going to be more of the same. And definitely, every single speaker in the whole day, explicitly or implicitly, they said, this is worth it. Thank you for your time.